Good morning. All right, so yesterday was what we had anticipated, kind of a consolidation day, and didn't see the 60-minute chart up there. Was just a little sideways chop going on there throughout the trading day. And so yesterday was like, okay, if we can clear the highs, that could spring off a move to the upside. And if we break through the lows, well, then maybe coming down into this area there, which was these overlapping opens and closes that I marked off at the time. So far, we've got a little break of the support and a retracement back up, which leads to the thought of, well, is this going to be a short where things can head lower down to this area? Well, I wouldn't go this so fast. Guys, give me 1 second. So, we're just maybe just in a little choppy range here. The news, G20 starting, Iran, maybe who knows when China will pop its head up again. So, the economic news that's coming. So it would just seem that traders are just kind of waiting for some information here to maybe support the Fed decision as to July, whatever. Markets are resting after a run up at resistance. It's normal. And so we'll see what today is, whether it's just a chop within this range, whether it actually rolls over, which isn't going to change anything on the daily chart unless it was to break seriously to the downside. And there's really nothing to suggest that's going to happen just yet. So we're in a little consolidation mode here after a run into resistance. Absolutely normal. This was the first consolidation. This is actually the kind of price action that we would want to see for more upside, meaning a decent dip down, not a giant retracement type of thing, but it's just like a consolidation that breaks through a few lows and springs right back up again with a bar that has, let me use the word authority, so to speak, compared to the prior ones that is supportive to suggest that prices could continue to go higher. So something like this will never look exactly like that, but you get the idea of what we're looking for, to push prices higher yet. And if they just grind lower into this area, well, maybe that's where the bottom of that bottoming type of tail would begin to create that tail. So it would be a red bar at the time. Then as buyers step up and push it higher, the red bar turns into a green bar once it gets above the opening price. And, so we're kind of wait and see mode here. The month will be over in a few days, and that kind of a bar, right? That red bar ignored, big red bar being ignored, is supportive of looking for prices to go higher. However, after that kind of reversal, it isn't uncommon to get a bar or two in the top of the range where prices consolidate. So I think that's where we're kind of at here, just looking at the multiple timeframes, that we're probably going to be looking at some chop with, as prices consolidate the gain. Trends are up, and this is kind of sideways, but the depth of the retracement and the red bar ignored is supportive of looking for higher prices. So, we just see, once we formulate a bias as to what probabilities are, then we just wait to see for a trigger that gets things to move in one direction or the other. Now, I titled this on YouTube as "There's a Little Left in the Tank." All that being said, about a longer term perspective here, the upside, I believe, is limited in the short term without that consolidation. And the reason being is the internals, which you can see here. As of yesterday, throughout the day, especially in the morning, the wrong way option traders were just loading up on calls. And they started actually doing it on this day here. So they've had several days of going nowhere and buying those call options, a lot more of those call options, which has now pushed this moving average of that put call ratio just into that first band. And believe me, if this was to pop higher, this could certainly push lower. It's nothing to suggest that you're going to get a turn on the dime type of scenario where the market just turns here. But historically, this is quite accurate at saying we're in the area where risk is growing for longs. So it's something to be respected. And this is a longer term measure of this breadth. And this one is about volume. And so there's still something left in the tank, but it's not what it was down here. So you have to respect that and keep your bias in alignment with what is. So any move up on any individual day can look pretty impressive. But to think that you're going to get this move again, historically, just isn't going to happen. Okay? Looking at the cues there. Consolidation, right? Not the same as this, but up at the high here. And we've got some consolidation at resistance. Very similar 60-minute, 24-hour chart. Similar, not exactly the same, but similar monthly chart there. And Dow cleared the high. This is the old all-time high. But so far, ignoring that topping tail bar. Consolidating here, but you certainly want to do set an alert below yesterday's low, because if it breaks that, it opens up the door to at least the start of some type of a pullback. Right? A normal pullback, of course, after a run like this and a topping tail. But as intraday traders, we're going to want to know. Bonds up here a little bit today, no biggie, and that's been consolidating its gain as well. In a more erratic way, topping tail, bottoming tail, topping tail, red bar suggesting it's going to go lower, green bar back up, inside the range. So it's beginning to form a tighter range here, right, up at this resistance area that's over there to the left, and kind of like a wait and see again. And all these markets are saying, okay, what is going to happen here? This is how to run. The equity markets how to run. Equities are at resistance. Bonds are at resistance. What's going to happen here? Oil pushing up into the bottom of this resistance area right there, consolidating again on the hourly chart. It's as if the world is waiting here for something. And so now we'll see, can this push up into the next resistance area? Can the equity markets, can the S&Ps get to 3,000? And so on. Gold up again. Right? Buyers just keep coming for it on this breakout. I don't think there's a bearish view on gold that I've heard. Not that I've checked all the news sources, but this is a significant breakout, and at some point it's going to retrace or consolidate, and it just makes sense to get on board, whether it's GLD or the miners or an individual stock, because this is quite bullish to be able to clear a base, a big rounding kind of a bottom, call it a head and shoulders bottom, call it whatever you want. It was in a downtrend. It had a deep retracement. It had multiple retests. And now it's breaking out above all of these highs that have pushed it back down over the course of multiple years. So pretty basic pattern, but bullish one, wide range bar, pushing up above there, suggesting that it's going to go higher. And other than that, semiconductors doing nothing here. A little bit of a concern. We want to see that start coming up. Financials were kind of dead in the water yesterday, but I guess everything was. Technology, just same consolidation going on there. Internet coming in a little bit. So let's stay on the sidelines, short-term scalping, or if you see something worth doing, probably going to need management being the key there. So that's it for me. Oh, we didn't look at the Russell, so I'm just take a peek at that because that was in a downtrend all day yesterday. As the markets were just grinding there, the Russell was just a continuous downward downtrend. And you look at this on a 5-minute, and it's kind of what we call a power trend, which is just relentlessly falling throughout the day, never overcoming an area of major resistance and just continuing to trend down with no relief whatsoever. And transports, weakness as well. And as I mentioned yesterday, these two markets which have lagged, and they have in the past too, while markets have rallied, but they always played catch up. And we'll see. So they're kind of like on the edge here. You want to keep an eye on the transports, even if you're not trading them, to see if they break down through this support level. And the same with the Russell, because, the Russell, and the way it looks like it's going to come down to this level here. If they continue to break down, it's going to be supportive of these internals. Well, even they're not at an extreme, the combination of internals, other markets weakening, the run that, markets have had over the course of 3 weeks, all that says makes sense to be a bit cautious. So, all righty, Dan, all yours.
All right, good morning. Weekly options traders. And just a correction, yesterday I reported Boeing is open, our put spread, and I got a email from a subscriber saying, wait a minute, it didn't take out the high that you, let's see, because I wanted it over Friday's high. So I posted it as open. We talked about it right on this morning pullback here with LaDon. And I should have sent a new alert saying this is a good spot for it. But I still like it over yesterday's high. So I'll send out a correction here shortly that will still do it. J&J, we have a put spread. And all of these are for this Friday expiration. Lyft, put spread. NVIDIA, put spread. Honeywell, put spread. A little bit on probation here with last Friday's, gap and crap there. And it's, actually a bear 1, 2, 3 right now, but it's on that minor support breakout level. We'll keep a tight eye on him today. UNH put spread for Friday again. Finally, Amgen put spread. So everything looks fine there on the weekly. Swinging options trader, we have a big portfolio. ADS, short stock. That's another nice little power trend there. Wow. Wow. And I already moved stop to break even. Pepsi, we have a put spread. I'm sorry, we're long calls. The July 130s, OAS, we bought a half lot of stock. Same with Halliburton. They weren't perfect entries or extended on the weeklies, but we wanted some exposure in there, which is why we said just half lots. Newer bear call credit spread, beautiful breakdown yesterday, all multiple time frames in alignment. That's a perfect example. And that's another power trend. Wow. And I told you all the other day, I'm writing an article on directional option trading. And I'm purposely going to give examples of a swing trade, of course, but I'm also going to do one on day trading to dispel those myths from, there's so many idiots out there. They just make statements that are unsubstantiated or taken out of context. They say, 85% of options expire worthless. Don't ever buy them. Don't buy short-term ones, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if you do it correctly, as long as the spreads were tight on this, that would have been a fantastic day trade short, being long deep in the money puts. Or they could have even been at the money and you would have made nice money. Tuffin, we did a put spread yesterday. India Romeo, long stock. And if it stalls here, I don't like the topping tail close. I'll keep an eye on that to leg into a covered call. Same with RPD. Lima Hotel put spread. We got the 165, 155, so it's under this base. So there's, it went against us, but no adjustments. And I don't think Debbie's with us this early typically, but she kept asking yesterday, hey, what's the news on, these health stocks getting beat up? Oh, you are? Cool. Yeah, Debbie, I saw in the journal this morning that the U.S. Supreme Court's going to hear a case about whether the government owes these people billions of dollars because of the healthcare exchange. The government saying, hey, we backed out of that 3-year contract. So, when you kept searching for news, have a good time searching for it, but it didn't change my approach or management to the trade. It is what it is. The news is out, and, they were getting, I knew the news would come out, and it wasn't good news the way they were acting. Mo, also one in sector that pulled back on us yesterday, but held the stop. We got a put spread. AON long stock, and I tightened the stop already. Honeywell, we legged into a bull call debit spread when momentum stalled. Remember, that's how I do it. We started off bullish, so we had a long call. The very next day, it's acting questionable, so I sold it out of the money call. Shorter term, and that's why it's called a diagonal. WTR, we're long stock, just nice churning uptrend to new highs. Bro, we're long stock. I moved the stop to yesterday's low. Lift, we have I legged into a covered call on this yesterday. And we have a put spread. Kim, we have a half lot as a core trade, breakout, daily, weekly, monthly with a big stop. Finally, a Mohawk. I hope it holds right here. It's 5-bar pullback to the rising 20. You got some minor support right there from these overlapping bars. We entered this as a longer term trade also with a big stop. We have a covered call on that. You missed Tuffin. Let me give it to you here real quick. And we did them fairly tight, but I, read what I wrote here, and I gave it a big stop. That was the alert yesterday. All right, now gappers. Kern. Oh, this was one. Hey, McGraw told me he made like, I don't know, $2,800 on 200 shares on this on the way up. You see how you have to get out of these things when they're a rocket ship? Gapping up to $31. It's bullish, but I don't like the way it trades, all those overlapping bars. Acer getting clocked. Oh, I saw this one going by the ticker. It's a bio.
I'm here.
That's Siri. Siri popped in saying, I'm here. What do you want? This is just to show you why we don't trade bios. That's quite a butt kicking. Midco, 33.50. All right, a beautiful gap down. Daily, weekly, monthly are all in alignment. I just wish it wasn't gapping as much. Like if it were gapping right here, 34.75, this would be a pounder under a 5-minute low, but it is still worthy. So that's going right there. Oh, did I miss Triple M? Triple M, we have a put spread that expires this Friday. BHF 34.50. That's a big old ugly gap, but it's too excessive. Len 53 and change. A lot of resistance right there, but it's a bullish gap. Let's see how it handles that resistance. You know, Bitcoin has been on a tear. A little riot here is a Bitcoin stock, allegedly, or whatever. And that's a beautiful retest pattern with huge volume, little gap up. So that's a nice pattern we need to keep an eye on. ABBV buying Amgen. So 70 bucks, big old gap. Amgen. Why is my pre-market not working? Oh, wonderful. I don't know why Greg makes me use this platform. Come on. See, this is when I get frustrated. When shit doesn't work. Now I can't even X out of it.
I think you just like pain.
Look at this. Do you know what POS stands for? Look, now I'm locked up. All right, I got it. POS. All right, give me a second. And we're almost done actually, so I got time. I don't remember, Debbie, and I forget what I said. Did you ask something relative to the chart, or did you ask something relative to, you know, having you wanting to play a buyout rumor because you like fundamentals? All right, now this POS is not loading up. The Qs and spiders kind of just grinding up here pre-market for the last hour, filling their gap and then some. All right, if this doesn't open, I'll just switch over to TC for the open, because I might have to reboot. Yeah, it's not even shutting down properly now. I'm trying to Control Alt Delete end task, and that's not even working. It says unable to terminate process. Wonderful. So that's going to require a reboot. So let's go to TC. All right. Hey, Greg, I'm thinking, I told you in my draft option article, I wanted an example of a day trade short. I think you just found it for me, IWM yesterday. I like it. Hey, so can you do me a favor, Greg? Pull up your fancy, well, hold up, because I want to tell you which put to do, but I like your little picture there of grabbing them with the value of the puts and, drawing you a graph.
Dan, you have the same platform. Open the option table and click it.
All right, well, I have it on, we'll do it when it slows down. Yeah, I have that on this markets page.
You can right click on any chart and you can open up an options chain.
Okay.